Ayana B. Put your hands up, don't stop. Put your hands up.
Hey everyone, welcome to The Buzz. I'm Vivian, your host for tonight. Joining me is, well, a lot of people who are absolutely wonderful and essential during this time. Let me introduce everyone. Or actually, how about you guys introduce yourself, starting with Kier.
It's your man, Poon Anners, your Texas caster and disease master, it seems.
And then Clarama over here.
Yes, my name is Clarama, and I'm a PM at Oculus and the founder of Device VR, and apparently social isolation master in that case.
The expert here.
Yeah.
And then we have Cami, our wonderful producer, editor.
Hi.
Everybody. Hi.
Hi.
We just started making her get on camera, so.
I work with Vivian and Nava at the Hive and V-Respawn and Poon Anners, and I'm here.
And
she plays Pavlov at the top of her
I know, right?
championship winner, right?
That thing.
Don't bury the lead.
And then we have Max.
Hey, I'm Max. I'm the head of U.S. operations at FXG, based in New York.
And then Nava. Oh, no.
Oh, Nava's still muted from her echoing.
Oh, you're muted from your echoing.
Time to unmute and enjoy the echoes. She's like, all right, which button is it? There it is. Oh, we lost her again.
Maybe she doesn't want to be
It
here.
wouldn't be a VR stream without some technical difficulties.
Look at her just blending into the back. It's okay. Well, we all know Nava, and she will definitely be talking soon. But actually, this is quite relevant. Let's introduce Nick, who is actually quarantined. And you want to introduce yourself, Nick?
Not anymore. I'm kind of out of my quarantine. It's really bizarre. China's like almost taking care of the coronavirus. So we were allowed outside now, but there's checkpoints everywhere. I'll actually show you all a checkpoint. Hold on. Can I switch my camera? Oh, I can. Okay, so I'll just say also, I'm in Dreamtown. This is where the FXG headquarters in Hangzhou are based.
Wow.
In this crazy-ass golden archway. But yeah, so here's the door to our office, a little random museum. Okay, and here's our checkpoint. This is ADA. ADA, say hi. So we've got... hand sanitizer, we got masks in case anybody tries to break into our office without a mask. ADA is checking temperatures of everybody who enters.
Wow.
Uh-oh. This is bad. I don't have a temperature, guys.
Uh-oh. Live on camera, he gets whisked away.
She's trying my pet now. Okay, well,
oh my God,
taking ADA a minute now. Okay, there we go.
Sponsored by.
Oh, so I got 35.3. Yes, the In-N-Out shirt. I fucking love In-N-Out.
Yeah.
And then here is a record of everybody who comes into the office, their temperatures, and everything like that.
Wow.
So it's crazy things like that have let China take care of the epidemic. You want to go into a mall, pretty much the same thing. Go to a shop, it's going to be the same thing. So they know pretty much countrywide, like the moment anybody gets a fever or anything. And so now China's kind of safe, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is. Because you've been dealing with this for quite some time, and it's kind of just hitting us now, much like many trends in real life anyway.
I had coronavirus before it was cool.
Yes, exactly. So hipster.
Pull that mask up.
Yeah, well, so for most of us in the U.S. and Heather in Canada, we all just started doing the social distancing where we it's like a state of emergency. A lot of us are working remotely because we have to. Some of us already work remotely, right? Anyone?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy because like people are contacting Nava, they're contacting me, they're contacting, they're wanting to know like, oh, how do we move our events into VR? And, because that's what we do at the Hive and everything. And it's affecting so much. I know Max and we got accepted to a panel and we don't know if that's going to be going on. We have the Val tournament, which is still happening virtually, but, it disrupted a lot of the competition there as well. So everything's just kind of going crazy. And I actually don't mind working from home because I feel like I'm much more productive. I get a lot more done. But, being stuck here, we're going to get a little stir crazy. So I thought we would talk about, VR and like what we're doing in VR. This kind of started because I posted that Poonanners is annoying me. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it's just that there's a delay. It's driving me nuts. So Onward, the video game, went on sale, and I was just inviting people like, hey, come and...
What?
I was like, come and play Onward with us. And so some people were messaging me. So... that's one of our traditions. As Nick knows, we interview you and then we go play Onward. And it's kind of crazy because a lot of things in my life have not changed. Like the Hive is continuing on as usual because we do everything remote anyway. Onward, team practice as usual because we are in VR, and the tournaments, the games are still going on as usual. So it hasn't been affected in that way. So I thought we would just kind of go around and hear about what you guys are working on, if it's changed your work at all. Clarama, like, what about you?
Yeah, so I think with the startup, I've also had a distributed work team. There's 6 of us. All of us lived in different cities, states, even countries. Our clients were in different countries, ironically. So like this technically wouldn't have and doesn't disrupt the work that we're doing in the slightest. Also before I joined Oculus, like I've worked remotely for like 6 years. So like to me, it was more of an issue of like, oh, this is what it feels like to go into an office now. So I was getting used to that. But even then I wasn't handling it well. I worked from home like twice a week. But now, yeah, so now we're all working distributed, and I can tell my coworkers, like my colleagues are all struggling, but I'm very lucky. I don't have kids. I am dog sitting. And this is by choice. So like for me, it's fine to be at home and working all the time. And plus I'm an introvert. So I'm not struggling with this at all. It's very normal. Yeah. If anything, I'm like, oh, thank God. Cause like, I feel like my calendar gets filled up really quickly with like all these different engagements or events. And I have a lot of friends as well. So like a lot of the time with them gets like, I feel like I rarely have time to myself, and I really have time to do things I actually really want to do. And so like now I like, oh my gosh, I can finally do the things I actually want to do. And so I'm really relishing this like staying at home, and I'm just kind of getting back to the things that I really like to do and my hobbies. And a lot of that is in VR. So like I get to actually play more games because usually
like what game?
Oh, yeah. So right now I'm obsessed with, well, obviously Beat Saber, duh. And I usually am in the top 50, now top 100. Now there's like,
Ooh.
Yeah. But yeah, I used to be in top 20 all the time, top 10, top 20, but on expert level. But yeah, no, I don't get to play regularly now that I have this like office job.
Allegedly.
So yeah, ironically, right? So I used to, before joining Oculus, I used to always play Dead and Buried every day, multiplayer shootout on Rift, big screen. I loved big screen also. Now that I'm always on Quest, I'm playing Beat Saber, Pistol Whip now, and O-Shape. I really love O-Shape. Yeah.
O-Shape just out on Quest. Shout out to O-Shape. We do have a commercial of them on the show here. Their trailer was done by Toge, who's with us at V-Respawn. So that Quest launch was really a really good trailer. So, well, yeah, you're keeping busy, and And wait, but you totally forgot about Onward.
Yeah. So the last time I tried Onward was on the Rift. I haven't touched the Rift since I got the Quest last summer. It's collecting. It's so much.
That lines up with the statistics we have.
Right. Like both of them collecting dust. Like in my PC laptop, like I have an Alienware. I haven't it's literally dusted. And when I tried to get it on just so I could play Onward today, the PC cable just is dead now. Like the cable. So I had to order one. So
mine's still in the box.
What?
My PC cable's still in the box.
Really?
For the Quest? That lets the Quest hook up to your TV? I mean, to your PC?
No, it's not still in the box. I said the wrong word. It's like.
Well, I know what you said. I'm saying mine never made it out of its box.
Oh, yours never made it out.
Yeah, still in its box.
Yeah. Did you buy it every time that Quest came out? Is that why or what?
Well, you can actually play Onward on the Quest. It's not a Quest game, but if you hook it up with the link.
Right, but it has to be to your PC, right? And my battery is dead.
Yeah,
and
right.
That cable to power, the power cable is dead, like dead. So I've ordered a new one on Amazon today. So
yeah, awesome. Yeah. So I'm just throwing it out there. I feel like you have a bunch. So if your Rifts are just sitting there, you probably have a Rift S. Any of you guys just sitting there. You know, some people need a Rift S. Because their sensors are broken and they've sent out their other working ones to their teammates. So
yeah, those indexes don't seem to hold up very well.
Just throwing it out there. I swear, anytime anyone says anything with Rift S, I'm like, so send me one, please. I kind of need it. You know what? Because hey, sometimes Oculus, when you message them and you have to like send something back or get something, like I've always found them to be really helpful. You know, like because it's a lot of different people. Same thing with Steam. It's a lot of different people that answer the ticket. And some of us, we talk about this in League that we say like, well, we're competing, so like, could you rush it, or could we hold on to what we have until, and so some people are like, yeah, totally. And other people are like, no, absolutely. Like they don't care at all. So that's why I have to justifying why I have so many headsets. But I was thinking a Rift S would be pretty good, or playing on my Quest, just because the sensors are just kind of driving me nuts.
It's basically the same.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what type of game you want to play. Personally, for me, I prefer the vintage Rift for playing like things like Beat Saber and stuff like that.
How vintage?
Yeah.
Vintage.
But yeah.
All those years ago, back when we were still children.
Yeah.
Back in the day when
I didn't even have a kid yet.
Nick is my favorite person. Look at him. Just like eating, advertising like Chinese food and all that stuff.
Yeah, guys, eat at your local Chinese restaurant. The food is made in America, but I'm sure they're not very popular lately.
Well, a lot of the cities have shut down restaurants. So
yeah. So how is the shutdown for everyone? I'm in Chicago, and it's like across the board.
You guys are very densely populated. If I remember correctly, you guys have like a few 100,000 more people than we do in Houston proper, but your population density is way worse than ours. So I know you guys have got to get on top of it. I know over here in Houston, we have the biggest medical center in the USA, and we have shut the town down. I'm one of those people that has the little Texas, what's the word we're looking for? Texas essential personnel things where I have to get into the disaster area to do stuff. Because if I don't do my job, people die. So I have to brave it. So you guys don't have to, but hopefully I can get food from somebody on the way in.
Today's call is to flex how important you are.
I'm very, very important.
To
by important, it means that I get to die so others don't have to. But I might be okay. I'm not quite that old yet. We've got a lot of interesting news coming in from our medical center about stuff that they figured out that seems to be working. So we might
really?
be yeah. Well, the problem is we're having some successes in things that people have figured out. For example, you probably already saw they've been cautioning everyone to stay away from NSAIDs. It's things like ibuprofen and Advil, because it appears to be making it worse for people.
I just saw that.
Yeah, my son, yeah.
Yeah, and steroids as well. So I was basically, if you have asthma, you are in a serious lot of trouble. But yeah, so that's one of them. There's also myocardia gets attacked by in some cases, and so that becomes like basically develop a heart condition if you didn't have one, and you end up in a serious critical condition. So we're trying to deal with that. finding some.
I want to point out that we're not
interesting.
responsible for any medical.
Well, there's no medical
thing that
advice
you-
here.
Oh yeah,
It's-
right.
it's
That's
what-
just
Right,
wanna-
what saying,
It's
though.
what our hospitals are trying, because we have an incredible medical center here in Houston, and they are trying like the Dickens to figure out ways that they can help save people, and they are having some successes.
Yeah.
But the current fear is that we won't be able to stem the tide before we run out of beds. Right now we're ahead of that, but as with pandemics, it's exponential increases. So today, what you see a week later, it's worse. So we're working really hard. And one of those things we're doing is shutting the whole town down. So like, the mall shut down, all the events are shut down, rodeo was shut down, which is how everything kind of started.
Yeah.
No one's on the road except for really angry drivers, it seems.
So,
There's like
yeah,
those
just
angry
angry
drivers.
people in general.
Those
Please
are the
stay
ones that
home,
left us.
guys. Seriously, some of us have, we have compromised immune systems, and our health isn't as strong. So
But I've been telling people.
think about the other people inside. It's not like, oh, I'll be fine. Yeah, no, it's not.
You might
about
be fine. Yeah,
so,
yeah. It's looking like
You're
it's
not
looking,
supposed-
it's looking like we might take somewhere between 3 and 5% of the world's population down with it.
Gosh, bananas.
All right, that's what the numbers are looking like right now. We're trying our best to stem it.
Okay, so as you guys know, I work with older adults, and I've been doing a lot of presentations throughout the years talking about technology and how important it is for like social isolation, and this is like a kind of a sad wake up call, I think, like in general for everyone, because like. And then, like, I think it was Buck on Twitter. He said, like, he does tech support, I'm guessing. He said that someone at his work was like, they need help because they're not connected to the internet, like his coworker or something. So it's kind of crazy because, like, I always say, when the gap closes, it's going to be really fast, and I don't feel like we're really prepared. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I work with older adults. I mean, it's a lot of industries that don't want to change. Like, I remember when I had an interview with someone at Microsoft, and he was an older adult, and he was like, just talking about like, yeah, well, everyone has email and everyone has, all this stuff. I'm like, no, there's a lot of people who are not, and that's kind of what's happening. And I'm a little bit worried about how people are going to be handling it. People who don't have the internet or stable internet, Wi-Fi or anything like that. And so I was just thinking,
Well, what about your telephone topic?
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Telephone Topics is like a live call over the phone, and people have been calling all over the country asking about this program we do. It's free. We subsidize the whole thing. And like today was about Brenda Lee, and tomorrow, I don't know, we're having storytelling or something tomorrow. So it's a variety of topics. I think that's not.
Yeah, I had to do the tone of my voice
right now.
today.
But if you guys want to call, it's like for grandparents or anything, it's 888-600-2560. I've shared it with every old person I know.
And that'll be me picking up the phone. So
it's very well documented that age group thrives on personal conversation. They need it in the workplace or even if they're retired. And it does a lot for them. So it's important to do that. I said one of my employees, she's in that age group, and the whole pandemic thing's got her like freaking out. And then they're expecting her to work from home, which has got her freaking out. And so I had made sure that she had Teams installed, and that she's got her camera and her headset. So anytime
Teams.
she can talk to me and have a conversation, and it calms her right down. It's the same as stopping up by my office.
I feel like this is like just not the best time for the Quest to be out of stock.
Dude, right?
No,
And
It was out of stock before this happened.
I know.
People were buying it.
This is how you know.
What I like is like you have a few groups of people right now that during this, like you have the the doomsday preppers that are saying you thought we were crazy, and then you have all the VR people saying you thought we were crazy.
We are.
Yeah.
No, but
like-
it's so important, and I know. Yeah, I know like Nava. She has been such a social VR advocate, right? And it's interesting because I thought, oh well, doesn't everyone use social VR? And it's not. It's like a niche within the niche of VR, which is a niche within gaming in general.
VR people love niches, so.
Yeah, well, anyway, I just feel like it's super important. I kind of want to send it to like my family and stuff like that. So, I know that Altspace put out a call to help with any conferences moving over. Have you heard of anything? Like I know like what GDC was this week, right? That's being missed.
There's one happening today with HTC, I guess, with Engage.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yes, yeah, I saw that.
And then there's a whole bunch of them. I mean, Rec Room is like
meeting.
really
yeah, I saw that
promoting.
too.
Yeah. I know South by
Where, but it's weird because we tell people that you can download it on your PC, but do you really get that same feeling of presence? Like it's so mind blowing to me how every single human being doesn't go into social VR, especially if they're a marketer. It's like, hey, hang out with your audience. Like you can really hang out with them. It's just so crazy.
I think
Or
people
hang out
will
with
get
your
that
friends.
in the coming years. I think people will start to figure that one out. It's what I've been trying to explain to people who are new to the environment about social VR. It's like, you guys are just starting to realize, I think over the last year, the importance of engagement over just straight number of followers or subscribers, but actual engagement. And it's like, and we've seen in social VR that it doesn't get any more engaged than that audience because you're there with them, without the added cost of having to go there and set something up.
Yeah.
It's like it's great cost benefit ratio of doing that, and these interactions they blow right through common problems that a lot of us have, like social anxiety or depressions like that. It's kind of a moot point in VR.
Claramo,
I know.
you were
I
saying
almost wanted
something
to tell
about
Trump to.
you're
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just Claramo, you're talking about Southwest. Did you?
Oh, South by Southwest. I was supposed to speak on a panel. We got reached out to. It was on the VR track, and so there was someone there organizing all those panels to do it in VR. So I don't know what the stage or what has happened with that, but I know that is in the works for VR. All those talks that were going to be at South by Southwest will be in VR. And AWE, Augmented World Expo, also emailed saying that they're going to take their conference digitally as well if things progress past April.
Yeah, so
It
Max
does
did that.
Reality.
It does look like Altspace is holding an event tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time for South by Southwest. I don't know
it's starting.
what that is exactly, but
It's a big conference. I think a lot of people are going to. It's just canceled for a lot of people. So Max and I were gonna speak at. Someone has an echo. I think it's. I'm gonna try. Okay.
I think we've lost her.
No, I'm trying to figure out where the echo is coming from. I was gonna say Max and I are doing. Maybe it was Max. We got accepted on a panel with Callie Leon. Yeah, we were going to talk about. I forgot what the title of it was actually, which is apropos for the topic itself.
I also forget the title, but
And-
we can talk about it.
Yeah, we forget the title, but it's funny. It's because the concept of our talk is about how we've been really affected by illness or cognitive issues and like what it feels like. Like Callie, she was in a really bad car accident, and so she had a concussion, and she's dealing with that. And I dealt with cancer, and Max has, I don't want to speak for you because you're here, but yeah, we were going to like have not a panel like interview style. We were just going to invite people to watch us have a discussion about how hard it's been and what we've been doing in VR to kind of address it, and then have people interact with us on like Menti or something. So we can. The organizers said that they have a plan for if it doesn't go on, then they'll do it in VR, which is appropriate, I think. So,
Well, maybe you guys could do it in Zoom, too.
yeah, we could
Or all the above.
at the same time, actually.
Yeah.
Because we could we could actually stream this in VR right now.
All the platforms.
Yeah, we've actually done that where we did it was for Virtual Reality Day, I think like 2 years ago, where I jumped from place to place to place. It was like we started in Allspace, then we went to Orbis and interviewed Matthew there. Then we went to Onward and interviewed people there. Then we went on to Anyland. We went to VR Chat. So we went to all these different places, and it was streaming everywhere. And the people in Allspace were watching us hop around from each place to each place. I think Facebook Spaces probably. And then I was like, okay, I was in VR chat. I'm like, I'll be right back in All Space. Someone timed me, and it was like 30 seconds. So it was pretty cool.
The VR crawl.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we should do a VR crawl.
We really should.
Yeah.
I'll bring the White Claw.
Clarama, what social VR platform do you like?
Oh, but social VR platform. When you say that, you mean like a specific app or?
Yeah, or.
Okay, because I actually work on the social VR team, the social experiences team. But
we weren't gonna say anything.
Yeah,
that's so awesome.
So this is great information. We were told
not to say anything.
All right, no, but personally, outside of work, big screen is my favorite. So as a social thing, but I've never gravitated to like the VR chats and the rec rooms, and just because it seems very, it's too freestyle. You never know what you're gonna get, and I don't know. I like things when I can go in. If I'm going to go into a social experience, I want it to have like some type of activity. Like I'm going in to play a game, or I'm going into like we're going to watch a movie. Like I like to do something. So that makes me a lot easier.
Curated.
Yeah, curated experience. And
then you have to come play laser tag in Rec Room. It's so much fun.
I need people to show me the rooms like that are great inside there, because I was like, if I just go in.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because every time I go in, I just get mobbed by like a bunch of really profane like little boys who are just yelling at me using words I don't even know.
I'm a girl calling you those names. It's not. No. See, that's what you have to go with people you know, right? So if you go into Rec Room, like go with friends and do their quest. It's a lot of fun. It's like 4 people, and then you like fight these little, robotic.
It's a good exercise too.
Yeah, it is. That's another thing is exercise. So my daughter, she's an athlete, and so she's holed up at home. And I went into her room today, and she was like, her bed's already made, and she's working out. Like seriously, on like leaning, doing her little kicks and stuff. And I was like, why?
You're like, who raised you?
No. I mean, it's good, but like that's what I was turning on. I was turning on Synth Riders to get my workout on. And then I had an asthma attack, so I just worked out a little too hard.
Oh man,
one asthma attack. Pretty close, but so that's what I'm doing to work out. Are you guys doing anything in VR?
Yes, I'm doing so much Beat Saber. I usually do it like I take a walk first thing in the morning because I retreated to the forest to ride out the storm. So I've been taking a walk and then immediately going into Beat Saber. And something really funny happened to me today because I'm using Nick's account. And I keep breaking all these high scores, but I'm doing it under his name, which is quite annoying.
That's the worst.
You smart.
I keep getting these notifications that I keep getting notified daily that someone else in our industry keeps beating my scores. So today I was in a meeting with her this afternoon, and I was like, you keep beating my scores, and it's really pushing me to do better. And then her son comes into the video chat, and he goes, that's me!
Smurfers.
So he's beating me on her account, and I'm beating others in Nick's account, so.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
I play Pistol Whip in Logan's account, so.
Allegedly.
those are my numbers. No, that's actually really that's funny. Actually, I have a coworker who he's tried VR, like he really likes Space Pirate Trainer, but he's not like he only uses it when I bring it in or whatever. And he was like, I'll play Onward for you, and I was like, I don't think so. And he's like, no, yeah, just set it up, and then I'll go in, I'll pretend to be you. And I'll just like kill everyone, and you'll just be so awesome. And I was like, what? Like, it was hilarious. And I was like, I can't wait for this to happen. I said, this is what's going to happen. You're going to go in Onward. You're going to run around for 10 seconds and then get killed immediately and wait in the tent for 6 minutes wondering what happened. And but he's like, no, it'll be great. So his confidence was hilarious. So
I was just thinking about when you brought up Logan. I remember that my niece had randomly messaged me a link to the to Logan's TikTok video that everyone in the industry was talking about. You saw that one, right?
Mm-mm.
Liv had actually relinked it to see if it was doing well on Twitter. But yeah, Logan put out a mixed reality Beat Saber video that went viral on TikTok. You remember how we've been pushing people to go to that platform for a while?
Yeah, and he was trolling himself.
I saw that on
and
Twitter.
she had messaged me, and she's like, this is really awesome. This guy on Beat Saber and TikTok. She's a big TikTok fan. And I was like, yeah, that's Logan. It's like, I know Logan. And she was like, oh, I didn't think you. I was like, dude, everybody in Beat Saber knows Logan.
Yeah, it was him, right? That was trolling himself.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, he was just like, he's not really good. And people were like defending him against himself. Oh, man. So I just lost my mind again. See, this is what happens.
You were on fitness and how people were switching account. You were going into Onward.
You're so kind to figure it out for me.
You had actually finished that thought, though, I think.
Yeah, I know.
We were moving on to like what is something else you could do in VR? You did social and exercise and Onward. Where you can play
no, actually, I remember what it is. Because Leo is in our V Respawn team, and he owns an arcade. And so there's a lot of people who are in the VR industry who are hurting because of what's happening, and that is the arcades. So I'm just hearing, that's like a bummer. And I was just wondering, like, who else in our industry has been impacted, and if there's anything we can do to kind of help them, because they all have to like shut down now, all the business. Oh, I mean, that's like with any business that can't be digital. People can't work from home. But yeah, I was thinking like, we were like, oh yeah, well, you could do anything in VR, right? But then I was thinking like, no, there's a lot of people who are impacted. And I don't know how it is with hardware too, with like Valve and everything. Look, I just brought everyone down. I'm such a
I think what it is we're all puzzling. We're like, okay, how can we reuse arcade resources to help them do? And we're all just sitting there just like, nope, that doesn't work. None of us are drunk enough to solve this problem for you, because we decided that drinking during this time is probably a bad idea.
I think the one thing is you could probably get gift cards for have them start promoting to their local communities to purchase gift cards and maybe give 20% off. And so when they do come back around and they show their process of how they're cleaning, and, every little dollar counts. So if everybody in their community did like $10 or something, that would at least keep them afloat. Could be a campaign they could start.
It's upsetting how much smarter Nava is than the rest of us.
No, I'm just,
No, it's a very good idea. Like, we're all over here like, we have nothing, and you're like, I've got something. Always with the good ideas. I love it.
It's true though, because this is like really insane. So I don't normally do this. When I go on social media, I typically stick to, connecting with people and steer clear of like the negative stuff, because it's like, why? I know it exists and it just does nothing. But I accidentally got down a rabbit accident. It was an accident. Yeah. And it was like just like so awful. And then I was just like laying in bed under the covers, like, I don't want to get up. I don't want to do anything. And it was only the hope of Clarama coming to play Onward with me that got me up. But but yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's so insane. But I gotta tell you, a part of me is kind of like upset. I'm a little I'm upset with like how it's like we've been telling people, like, find ways to stay connected and how important it is. And what does everyone always tell us? Like, I prefer face to face. Well, of course, yeah, but we're offering like a solution here. So anyway, so part of me is just kind of like, now we're like rushing to get people to move their programs over and everything. And
yeah, there's a lot of people that I know in my, just like, even from my like schools or whatever, that are just coming to me and they're like, you do VR, right? What can I do to get my event in VR? I'm like, oh, okay, do you have a headset? let's start talking, you know? They've never been in VR, but they're like, okay, we have to get in VR right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, call Oculus, see if they can sell you a Quest. Maybe they have a couple in stock, but they didn't put on their website. Who knows? You know, they're all sold out. I said, well, you can get the Go, because you can still go into like specific sorts of VR places with the Go. And it's only $149, and it's the basics. It's not like you're going to be coding or anything. And they're like, all right, I need to do it like in the next 3 weeks. And I was like, okay. And then I start telling them about it, and then it's just blank face, because they, you know, just, so then you have to like slowly educate them, but you have to do it fast because their event needs to happen. So it's just been really weird, right? Vivian? Like, I don't know. Has anybody else felt that?
Yeah.
In my experience in software design, there's a lot of people that will tell you the problem they have, and really what they want is they don't want you to tell them what they have to do. They just want you to take the problem and solve it.
That's fine. That our business thrives on that. So,
yeah.
What were you going to say, Karama?
I was going to say, when I had done the startup round, we had marketed our solution towards teachers and education, and we came exactly against that problem. There's all these teachers that really were excited to use this product in classroom. But again, it because of the bureaucracy and the structure, it's like you have to convince certain administrators to approve a budget, to buy the headsets, then you have to train the teachers on how to use it. And there's just like this just like, they don't have a gaming background. So like the mental models, you have to teach them before they can even get adjusted to like then learning how to use the app itself. So there's just like all these layers of learning, and especially for people who are not in the VR scene or tech in general, which is who we're trying to reach out to. And I think that wall is just there's just such a thick boundary, and there's such a lot of hand holding that we have to do. And the system's just not set up for that. The system was built around gamers and people who already had a mental model, and we built it on top of that. So therefore now we're trying to integrate this gaming model designed around a specific archetype and then like trying to transfer that to everyone else. It doesn't work. And that's what I think we're experiencing in terms of like, we have this great solution, but it wasn't designed with you in mind. And so then now we have, it's just really hard. So it sucks though. Yeah, we have this tool, but like, it's like giving somebody a laptop and they've never even had a smartphone before. And then expecting them to like learn how to use it, you know? And
I do feel like global events like this are sort of like push people though towards new technology, just because it's sort of forced upon them. So I think that this might be our chance. Like, I feel like we might look back on this moment in history, like 10 years from now, and be like, this is what point where VR had to take off, because people realize that when you have things like this where you have to stay home and remote work, that VR is such a powerful tool to connect people across the globe without actually being face to face.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's going to have to be word of mouth, and that means the gamer community, the people who are very well versed into it, have to speak to people who are not gamers.
There's also a stigma against gamers too. Like, I feel like people sometimes disregard opinions of people who are gamers. Yeah, they're like, oh, it's your video game thing. It's like, no, it's so much more than that.
Look at Nick right now.
I think Alex is dropping at a good time if you think about it. Because Alex is the first time that we saw like the gamers that were all rebelling against the idea of VR are jumping on board now. Well, they're like, well, Half-Life. Yeah, okay, I'll do it for Half-Life.
Yeah.
Speaking of Half-Life, I just wanted to say hi to Trip, who just dropped into the chat.
What's up?
Does that make you so crazy? So because you have this product that could really be utilized right now, and you made it so long ago.
Yeah. Actually, I want you to talk a bit about it, because I love it. I mean, I remember like we met like 2 years ago at Facebook. But even before that, I was reading like articles and watching videos on your product. If you want to just talk about what you're known for, I would say, or one of the things.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So this was a product that I worked on that started when I was in grad school, and it was more so to address that I was having this like bad, unhealthy interactions with the assistant professor in grad school, who's very clearly had a problem with what I looked like doing the same technical feats as the rest of my class. And so, I was going to quit grad school because I was like, I can't get past this guy, because he was, every time I tried to report him, it didn't matter. Like, people wouldn't really, like, we don't know who to believe, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, well, F you. I'm going to like use my thesis to like make this solution, because like our thesis assignment was to like create a technical solution for a social problem. So I'm like, okay, like if my word is not enough to like showcase or demonstrate that this person is being unfair to me, and we have such a huge problem in the tech industry where people like me keep saying this and nobody will do something about it. So what do people respect? They respect data. So like how can we start using leveraging, and that time is 2015, so there was no consumer headset for VR, but we had the DK2. So I was thinking of like what kind of immersive solutions can we like be able to extract data in terms of like behavior and how they talk to people or interact, what decisions they make around these certain avatars or different types of traits, and then be able to collect that data and should showcase where the discrepancies are in terms of how do they interacted with this type of experience and how do they make decisions with this type of experience when this person was present. And like, so like, my original solution was to do that. And then I kind of added on top of it, because at that time, once I created something like that, they were like, oh, well, nobody's going to want to experience, like nobody's going to take this. If they're going to see that they can be biased, they're not going to want to be in this experience. So I was like, okay, well, then the design challenge for me, I was in an interaction design course. I was like, or program, whatever.
One of those things.
Yeah, you know, thing where you get a degree after. And so was like, okay, how do we design this experience in a way where people would actually be like, oh, okay, I'll go in and play and like not think of it differently? Because like they call this, like there's an actual term for this called like a white fragility, where it's like where when you try to say, hey, what you said is racist, sometimes the person who can get really offended or whatever, and sometimes you just make things worse, and the interaction just gets like more unhealthy after that. It doesn't actually solve the problem. It just makes people like not avoid you or not want to be part of it, and it doesn't contribute to building more closer connection. So what I did was created a game, and it was basically you were it took actual real life case studies of what has worked in terms of reducing bias. And one was embodiment, but not embodiment, which is what I see a lot of the market is doing in terms of like experience racism, experience sexism, or whatever. Like that has its own use case and its own goal, but it doesn't actually reduce bias in and of itself. It just makes you have a better understanding of what someone goes through if you're trying to sell the concept of it. Then the second stage is like, how do you actually reduce it? And so there, in real life, the way that bias is reduced is by having strong connections with different people and having positive interactions with it, positive experiences with them, and seeing them in roles that contradict what maybe media or normal environments would show us. And so it's like, how do we play games with characters or embody a character that's different and have that same goal and be on the same team, be on a team with a common enemy, and like get past it, like going through a maze or like finding certain clues and kind of solving a case with different people, and like having it be a rewarding kind of a gamification game training around like bringing people these experiences that they can't have in real life. If it's like working with women, that are smart and can be leaders, versus like, I think what you see on TV a lot, which for me is very frustrating. I'm obsessed with superheroes, but like you always see like they're always centered around white males or now white females, and like the people of color or like the women are usually aside, or like the love interest or like supporting. And it's just like, even if they get more diverse, it's still always central to a white figure. And so you never get to see like a full personality of like all these others. And so what happens is we replicate that in real life. When we do see people who are different, we just are less likely to pay attention to them, less likely to kind of just deliver resources or share in the same way that we would engage with people that we associate who are like us. So this experience was like to find like, what is the impact we're trying to have? Like this is something I also didn't see in the market later on when I created this app. This was specifically designed for teachers. Sorry, I'll bring it down to a close right now. But this particular app, Teacher's Lens, what we did in Oculus Launchpad, I worked with a researcher. Her name is Jessica Outlaw.
Yay, Jessica!
Yeah, you guys might know her. Big name. So her daughter is half Black. And so she had the problems where she didn't want her kid going to a school and the teacher kind of treating her differently. So in America, 82% of teachers are white. The classroom, students make up about 50%, students of color. make about 50%. Unfortunately, a lot of teachers, they'll, because they don't have the contextual understanding or experiences of growing up in a poor social economic background, and this is not to say all students of color have this, but a lot of times this will be the case. They don't know how to recognize, there's like a lot of cultural barriers, and they don't know how to recognize potential in unique ways outside of what we are taught socially to see potential in, like, which is like poise, listen, obedience, you know, like that kind of stuff. And so if we don't, and unfortunately, expectations is the strongest indicator of how well a student will perform in class. And what they've shown in a lot of testing is that teachers will have lower expectations of students of color in class and female students when it comes to science and math. And this is what I experienced in grad school. That really has an impact in terms of how well the student will perform. So we created a test in VR, a simulation, where they can have different exercises, and we can show them this is the discrepancy of how you were able to choose or select students for class. We can reveal to them if they had higher or lower expectations for students that were triggered by race. And then also the same thing when it was triggered by science and math. And then we gamified it. So that was what we put out. The second iterations is actually like, you're a teacher, you're a superhero, and you have to save different students who have different, and you go to their house and fly to where they are and help them.
So cool.
Business and English, yeah, like little things like that. And these are all research-driven bases. Like every single game that we designed was actually taken from a case study where they actually studied this impact of VR, this particular exercise, and saw a positive impact in how the person made decisions after that.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, that's definitely, and that's something that like comes up a lot in social VR because we use avatars, right? And so we talk a lot about our identities. You know what I mean? Like, and like I'll take Allspace for example, right? Like, because you could be a robot, and then there's like the human avatars, but then there's only like 4 different types that you could be, and so people were like, it was just interesting how people chose what they identified with, and like just like wanting to either look like themselves or look like what they feel, and not, you know, it's totally different from themselves. And so so I feel like this is like a really good, a relevant topic for the medium that we use anyway. So yeah, thanks for sharing. Isn't that cool, guys? I mean, like, I'm such a fan because, like, ever since, it is such a cool thing, you know. It's kind of like all of our other friends who are doing insane stuff with Enterprise VR, and like, has nothing to do with gaming, you know, and it's really interesting. And I want to shout out here to Trip, who just joined us. He helps with the Hive and V-Respawn and is a shoutcaster and is captain of a top team in Onward.
Top-ish.
SMC.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Yes, exactly. And I want to introduce Leo, who you might recognize him. He was on like 2 episodes ago, and Leo actually owns an arcade. So we were just briefly talking about this. If you like wanted to, if you had anything to like put out there, because I know it's affecting people in different ways, and we were talking about like, well, what can we do to like help our friends in VR that are affected by this?
Yeah, so it's definitely affecting my arcade because we are in the Bay Area. We are in lockdown until April 7th. I've seen a few other arcade owners I've had a few of them reaching out to me, and also in the groups that we all belong. And I've seen already 3 arcades that had to actually completely shut down because of the quarantine in their areas as well, because they were already not doing so well, not profiting, and because of the quarantine in their areas lasting so long, they won't be able to survive and pay the bills, even with all the governments helping them and postponing the mortgages and all that stuff. Their only option was to completely shut down, and that's really sad. On the other end, is also great for us that can still survive, so we can buy the equipment from them since it's out of stock everywhere else.
Oh yeah, that's I was thinking about that. Like their equipment, they'd have to liquidate, right?
Yeah, so that's what they're doing. They're literally just telling everybody else, like, hey, we got to liquidate our stuff to be able to pay the rest of the bills and shut down. So here it is. It's going to cost X, Y, Z. Yeah. It definitely hurts us, but we all understand having a VR arcade, we have a huge potential to be a vector to spread COVID-19 way more effectively than other places, other gatherings, other venues, because not only spreading between customers if one infected customer uses a headset and we don't clean, but also to the team, because we are always in really close to the customers at all times. We have to assist them with the headset, we have to assist them with the controllers, we have to be next to them. There's no way we can have a 6 feet distance between each person.
And
at least
considering the age range that normally frequents the arcade.
Yeah, so that's another thing too, because the age range, of course, I can say there's less seniors that play VR. Unfortunately, in my arcade, that's not the case. We have a lot of seniors that go to my arcade, but yeah, that's
Wow.
an issue because
Silicon Valley.
for other arcades where the majority is from 12 to 25 years, 12 to 20, that age, you do not realize you have the coronavirus because you feel just like a regular flu. And because of that, for the arcades that are still open, they might not even take into consideration that they might have the virus. They would not realize, and they would pass it on to their loved ones, to their parents, their grandparents, and you're just gonna feel that later on, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, and you might not even recognize you caught it from an arcade. That's a real big danger. There's a few arcade owners that I know that are refusing to lock down unless told by the government, and the other one of us are trying to tell them like, hey, this is the issues, this is why it can be bad for your business, because like, knock on wood, if it happens that somebody catches a coronavirus and something horrible happens to one of them or their families, and they blame it on the arcade that they visited 2 weeks before, that can completely shut down the arcade. That can completely destroy their brand, and it can hurt the whole arcade industry, the whole LBE VR industry, because of one person that decided not to lock down or decided not to clean the headsets more often than they should.
Right.
Yeah, it's more legal at this point.
Yeah, it is. I can't even go into the arcade and work from there, so I have to work from home because our lawyer said like, hey, the way this is going, it's all up in the air, and we don't want you to risk getting to pay a fine of $1,000 just for being out in the street. So at least for us in the Bay Area, the situation is pretty serious. I don't know about other areas, but yeah.
You guys are so smart. Florida, it's spring break out here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I have a
Tell everyone in Florida the same thing.
We should probably run for our lives now.
Yeah, I have a Brazilian friend who just posted in her stories that she was there enjoying a spring break, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? And she just had a baby too. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? No, go back. And she's like, yeah, when I go back, we're gonna hang out. I'm like, no, we're not gonna hang out unless it's on FaceTime. I'm not getting close to you for the next month or so. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody know anybody who has it?
My boss, the director of the nonprofit that we work for, we were part of, she had dinner with a person who had coronavirus, so she is completely quarantining even from her own kids. But it hasn't been confirmed yet. She hasn't taken any tests yet to confirm that she has the virus, but she had dinner with someone who had the virus, and they found out like a week later. But other than that, I don't know anyone personally that has it.
I think 2 of my teammates, one of them, she got really, really sick and then was told after the fact that the person that she was interacting with has it. So that's what she thinks.
Interacting with.
Yeah.
It's all really complicated. We can't tell until we start seeing the symptoms.
Right. My friend and his wife, they have it. They're really good friends of mine. They're actors, so they have a bit of an influence. I don't know if you know Tom Hanks. Anyone?
I just watched Class the other day.
Oh yeah, because it was on. Oh yeah, and that's another thing. What's on the
I know a Hanks that does voiceover. Is that who you're talking about?
Woody.
Maybe. Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
Woody
he did
from Toy Story.
Yeah. There's a movie called Toy Story. It's about toys.
No.
That's what you go with for Tom Hanks, not Castaway?
No.
Everyone
no,
has a
not-
different Tom
not Toy
Hanks.
Story.
Like, okay, let's shout out what is your Tom Hanks? Who go?
Got mail.
Castaway, huh? Woody.
I would
Yeah,
say Woody.
Castaway.
Yeah.
That's me.
Actually, no. The genie. No, wait, no, that's never mind. The wrong
That's Robin
person.
Williams.
Oh, you
That's
mean
Robin
Big?
Williams.
Oh, I thought you meant Big, because that's
I
another
was
one.
I was
Big.
thinking
Yeah,
about
that's what
I
it
was,
is.
I was thinking about the voice actor Jim Hanks. Sorry, I got confused.
Leo, you need more light in your room. You're stressing me out, dude.
I
Yeah,
know,
hold on.
dude.
You're like
I
a
know,
vampire.
dude. I know.
Solidarity.
I only have
Solidarity.
this lamp right here.
Working from home, people need to have all kinds of light so they don't get all like bored and like yeah.
Yes.
Well, but here's
So
the thing. I work better at night. So like most of the time, we even shut down the lamp right here and just work in complete darkness. I
well,
prefer it that way. I'm way more productive in the dark.
Yeah, me too, man.
I think we all have to. I think maybe aside from Poonanners, like we're all working from home. So let's hear everyone's tip for working at home.
My tip would be Spotify. Find a playlist you can jam to and just knock it out.
Pistol
what I-
Whip,
that's
Pistol
what I
Whip
do.
soundtrack, Synth Riders soundtrack, they all work really well
Yeah.
for working from home.
I've been getting back into metal and all those the punk, hardcore, those kind of genres that I used to listen a lot when I was a teenager. And I recently found out a playlist on Spotify called "Lo-Fi Beats to Chew and Study."
Mhm.
Yes.
It's
Got that
metal,
one. That's a good
but
one.
it's metal. That's the end of it. So it's all
But
metal.
it's metal. Nice.
Yeah, it's
I
all
like it.
metal beats, and then I'm like typing spreadsheets and stuff, and then when I realize I'm like this, and I'm like, oh, why can't I can't type? Oh yeah, that's because I can't.
And now you have a
So
concussion.
not productive, but fun. What about you,
No, yeah,
Max?
it's helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I've been remote working for like the last year and a half, so I've been stir crazy for quite a while. But I would
You hear
say
that,
like
Nick?
my best tip, Nick knows. My best tip is figure out like the best ways to reward yourself as an individual, whether it be unhealthy snacks or wine or yes, or
I got
taking a
200.
bath.
I've been
self-care.
recommending people avoid alcohol.
No,
Don't
no.
reward
no.
yourself
Day drink,
unless you've
3
earned
o'clock.
it.
No,
Okay.
that's definitely not alcohol.
Well, Max,
Every
you
hour is
also
happy
do, like,
hour.
No,
That's a good
developers do better
documentary.
with 2 beers in them. So right around
They
3
do.
o'clock,
This disease
you
is just much worse with alcohol. Just thought I'd
start
let you know.
taking a little bit of a drink.
Well, I'm not held responsible for any of this.
HR?
Yeah, HR will be here tomorrow. Clarama, what about you? What's your tip?
My tip, I feel like my tip is basic. It's the same thing. Like, make sure you get up and like have a routine in the morning. I guess make up your bed. I don't know. Don't work from bed. I mean, I
Oh,
may
yeah.
be a hypocrite. I was in my pajamas all day today, and I did stay in bed for like half the day.
No, I've
Get
You can work
dressed.
from your bed.
yeah, I do get dressed. I feel weird because we also we're doing conference calls and stuff on camera, so definitely
Yeah.
get dressed.
It's really easy. I feel like to like just work 24/7 when you're at home, and so like I'm very lucky. I have this. I'm dog sitting. If you can dog sit, I recommend that because this dog forces me to give it attention, and then I'm like, oh shoot, real world, like, like you know,
Yeah.
we go outside for a walk, and I have to walk anyways, and like let me just not look at a screen for like the next hour. So, I think to take frequent breaks as well is good. I think be healthy as well. VR, all the things for working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My tip is to make a list of all the things that you I've always wanted to do and needed time to do, but don't do them. Just make the list to feel better about
And
yourself.
then proceed not to do any of it.
Yeah. I'm telling myself that because I'm not doing any of the things. And I'll tell you what I have been doing. I don't know if it's been helping or not, but I watched Outbreak.
My
I
wife made me
played-
put that on
I
for her.
played the
You
Just
gotta
board
watch
so-
game.
Contagion too.
Yes,
No, seriously,
Contagion.
My wife made me put on Outbreak yesterday, and I put on Contagion for her today.
I've been playing
Wow.
Plague Inc. so
I-
much on my phone.
I've been playing Pandemic the Cure. It's a board game, and there's like a new virus expansion. So I've been playing that and trying to save the world.
I've been
you're
watching
welcome.
speed runs of Plague Inc. It's very depressing.
I've been playing a game called Agricola, which mimics like medieval times farming, which is very depressing. So it's fitting. like hoarding food and stuff like that.
We should all be playing Warzone. That's all I'm saying. Is like when y'all are,
okay.
when you're not actually working and you're supposed to be working, just ping me. We'll play some more.
Dude, they added massive carriers to PlanetSide 2. Come on.
This is what I like about gamers is I feel like we embrace the darkness sometimes and like bad situations where we just go for it and we just indulge that sort of.
I heard us. Yeah, go on, Carrie.
Oh, just that we just indulge ourselves in that negative aspect and sort of find like the enjoyment or I guess the humor in it by playing like, Pandemic or Plague Inc. or Warzone or whatever and be like, oh, we're just going to get ready for the end of the world because all these people are buying up ammo and groceries and toilet paper like crazy. So Warzone seems like maybe life skills right now.
Yeah. Well, as someone who's been working from home for the last year or so, my daily lifestyle has not changed one bit since the pandemic hit.
Allegedly.
But I went outside the other day to go shopping and it was super weird because there's like no one out. I went to get lunch and there was like one guy working. He took my order and he made the food and everything and it was only takeout. I was like, this is
nice.
So weird.
That's awesome.
I bought Hello Kitty toilet paper.
What?
I don't know. It just.
Did any of you guys see
I'm
the
just kidding.
Trevor
I saw the
Noah
Hello Kitty
skit
toilet paper when you
about
posted on
toilet
Facebook.
paper?
Yeah, I don't. There's so many memes about it because it's.
It is so funny. He was like, God forbid you run out of toilet paper in the same room as you have a shower.
I know.
I got a bidet a long time ago, man. I was laughing at everybody running out of toilet paper. I was like, suckers.
Hi, Eva. Eva says hi.
You know what I found out? I found out about the coronavirus on the first episode of The Hive from Nick Mitchell. I had no idea because I was so focused on the actual show and in VR so much during that, like, pretty much that month that when he came in and he was talking about it, I was like, what? And then I side Googled it and I was like, holy, what? Like,
she stepped farther away from him in VR. She just scooted away. She's like, oh.
Yeah.
Virus.
No, I'm just saying, I literally self-quarantined at that moment. I didn't leave the house after that because I was like, I'm not trying to touch that,
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
But you can't control it when you have.
I'm trying to think of people who haven't heard. I was just imagining who that would be.
They had something about there was like some one of those Big Brother kind of shows.
Oh yeah.
And they had a reveal where they told them because they had no idea this was happening.
I think that I saw a Brazil one that they didn't know about it.
Yeah.
I think that
the
was
German one didn't either.
Well, West Virginia doesn't know about it either. They haven't got any cases.
They don't know about it.
Well, they haven't tested.
I heard that Venice is actually I don't know if you saw that tweet that went around all the canals cleared up.
Yeah. They were seeing dolphins now. Yeah.
Yep.
That's so nice.
You're gonna see that somebody was actually talking about how that whenever you have an economic downturn, it actually makes people live longer because of pollution, everything is less and stress is less.
I read that.
Yeah,
too.
think about how little pollutants are going into the air these last couple months. It's
just
crazy.
the virus.
I live in Houston. Houston air is gross, so this is pretty
So
nice.
what we're saying is we need a plague every so often.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the way Mother Nature takes care of itself.
No
Exactly.
comment.
Yeah, there's the Office GIF I think too with Dwight going, "We need a new plague. There's too many people here."
Yes, I was just watching that. I had to I was like, I need to cheer up, and I put on The Office. So that's hilarious. Anyway, I know it's a really weird, crazy topic because it is serious on one hand, and we want to take it seriously, and it's impacting a lot of us. And another aspect is that it is affording us opportunities to figure out like what can we do without, what do we actually need, and how important connecting is, because we're a week in for us where we are, and I know that it's just gonna get worse and worse, because I've been quarantined and for a year, and it messes with your head and stuff. So for those
look at Nick, look how long he's been doing it.
Yeah, he's crazy, but he already started that way. So
He has a fidget spinner. He's fine.
I don't know if he's doing all right.
All he needs.
I don't know what, so long as everyone's having a good time, ain't no reason to be a poopy pants.
Thanks. Thanks for
It's social media,
You're welcome.
right?
Yeah. Well, I
have a button
put
for
that
everything.
up. I put that up. The tomorrow, The Hive with Nava. Do you want to tell us who your guest is? I have it on the screen, but yeah.
So crazy, you guys. Last week was like none of this was planned around Corona. We had this planned like before the show even started, and this week's show is Daniel Martin. So he is an animator. He did The Remedy. It's about a woman. He did the animation. It's like a comic book like VR experience. You can see it in Quill Theater on Oculus Quest. It's free, and it's really well done. And it's about a single mother that goes on a journey to find a cure to cure her sick child. So it's just this whole really cool experience. Has anyone seen it, The Remedy?
I don't think I have.
Definitely check it out on your list of things to do tonight or tomorrow when you're bored. It's just such a great little flick. And he has a ton of great work that he's done in Quill. I mean, he's an animator in Disney. He literally is, he's so talented, and he pushes the boundaries of the tools. Him and Nick Ladd are even, I think, the mentors for the virtual animation Facebook group too. They're really great artists, and I'm super excited he's coming on because he's going to show us like the behind the scenes of how he made it, the making of it.
That's awesome.
Because it's the first comic book like experience I've seen in VR. There might be others. It was just the first one I saw, and I was just like, whoa. It's almost like you're part of the story. It's just very, and it's not long. So, you know, if you're the type of person that can't sit through a really long thing in the middle of the day, if you need a little bit of a break for enjoyment, it's a quick short film. So it's really cool. So definitely come tomorrow night at 8:30. We can hang out in VR and get to know him and what he's working on and creating. Because, you know, all these creators like Clarana, Max, Vivian, Tuna, Heather, Leo, all you guys, Trish, you guys are creating so many cool things, and it's fun to talk about it with your friends who are interested in VR and understand it. You know, so it's a fun time. And Vivian started this in 1981.
You keep saying that, no.
And it's fun to be able to kind of keep it going because it's important for the history. It's social VR.
Yes.
So
well, I agree.
It's a good thing, and definitely, Cami produces it, and Project built the world. So it's fun to be able to hang out and just be with people who are creating, and even the people who aren't creating, just to be able, so they can learn VR too. I mean, a lot of people go in there and they don't really know how much work goes into creation. I'm sure you guys do, but it's a lot of work. And Nick too.
Yeah, so definitely come hang out with us tomorrow in the Hive with Nava. It's really great because she's so Nava's the sweetest person. And no, she's so sweet, and she says things that make us laugh at her expense. But
that wine,
yes, this is when she wants. We have to do this because there's an emoji that's an applause, and she wanted people to use that emoji. So she goes, "Give me the clap."
We had a 90 too. I was like, give me the clap. You're just live.
And then you ask people to give you the tongue.
Yeah, you said give me the tongue, which she meant the emoji, guys. I'm not going to say it's not a family show, so it's fine. But yeah, come down to the Hive, and
go bring the kids.
People have been contacting us for events, and if you need help with your events, let us know. We have, doing the Hive for
we just did an event right for Val.
Yeah, yes, we did the event for Val, which I'll just show you guys while we're talking.
It was so meta.
Yeah, you can see it
there, and he was streaming live.
Yeah, so
and then he hologram
cutie
pop in.
Yeah, so it's on the screen right now. So yeah, we and we're going to help them with that tournament. So just also a shout out to the Val tournament, which is still going on, sponsored by Oculus and iBuyPower. You can win prizes, and even though we they have to cancel the LAN event, there's still a lot of prizes that you can win and be a part of, even if you're not the best at Pistol Whip. There's goodness gracious, social media prizes that you can win as well. And also Trip and I are casters So you can, and a shoutcaster, so you can go to VR Master League and check out our schedule because matches are going as scheduled. And I just did my first one.
You share that schedule?
Yeah, it's on VRMasterLeague.com.
I never know it.
Yeah, well, Echo is also on there. Palador, he does a lot of casts. You can watch us cast these games and where you can learn how to play Onward, and then you can join it. And I'm throwing this out there. I already told my friends, I was like, I have extra headsets. If you message me and come by and pick it up or something like that, this is the time. Like, I have multiple headsets. So, I mean, if you have multiple headsets, you can try and see if you can give it to your friends or something. And I mean, it's supposed to sound kind, but there's a hidden agenda, and that's to get them to play Onward with me. It's basically it.
VR sports are the only sports right now, so you might as well.
It is.
Might as well watch something.
Yeah, watch it, learn it.
We'll take bets.
That's true. Good point, Heather.
Yeah, definitely.
It is the only sport. I mean, my husband is such a sports person, and he literally, it's almost crazy. March Madness, like heartbroken. And I'm heartbroken too because Dayton, Ohio is doing so good. Go Dayton Flyers. But it's just so crazy, all the sports.
I'm considering becoming a virtual reality sports bookie, taking bets.
Yeah.
Well, we have betting. Look, we have betting now. Look, you can upvote which team you think's going to win. And so now we just need to get the money involved, and then it's all good.
Money in general.
This is the important game right here. Watch this one right here. SMC Tactical versus Blades.
So you'll see the schedule, and it is being casted. And so I've been picking up some of these games too, just to get experience in, and also because
didn't you cast by yourself?
I did. It was so fun because I cast it by myself, and it was exciting. People just messaged me a ton to tell me what I did wrong. It was just
that's what happens.
I don't know any other women casters, though. Do you know any other women casters? I mean,
a couple.
Yeah, because I've never seen one in Onward.
Not lately.
So that's so cool. Girl power during Women's History Month.
Oh yeah.
I love.
You get a whole month.
Thing.
A whole month.
You get a whole month. What?
I knew we had a day, but a month? Jesus.
Yeah.
Welcome to the world, ladies.
They expanded it because of the quarantine.
Well, I mean, obviously there's a lot, so follow us. There are links in the chat. Give us a subscribe, and because we'll be back tomorrow with the Hive, and then we'll be back again next week with the Buzz, and we're also going to show off the Pistol Whip tournament. To hell or high water, we are going to do it. It was awesome. We did a Pistol Whip last minute event in Alt Space, and we had over 100 people show up, just coming, checking it out and stuff. So, yeah.
Wait, I want to say one more thing, because mental health is so important during this time. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I obsess in Twitter and just start reading all of the stuff that I shouldn't. There's my favorite app, Shine Tech, has this really cool website. It's called virusanxiety.com. And it has you can screen yourself to see where you're at mentally. Maybe if you're feeling uneasy and you're like, oh no, I'm not feeling anxiety. You can actually screen yourself because it asks you 4 easy questions, and it gives you motivational tips every day and just helps you deal with some of the things when you're reading some of the shocking things that are coming to you. Because I know Canada is kind of new for you right now, right? And you guys have only had it around really for 2 weeks, if I'm right, or a week or 2. So there's a lot of people. No?
We had cases, I think, about 3 weeks ago, but it was 2 cases in Ontario, and then things, because they didn't do enough, I think, at the beginning, and we just thought it was, the flu, but a little worse. Things have gotten exponentially out of control. But we do have, I think we're one of the few countries that has open COVID-19 test centers. People can just go and get tested. And I think Saskatchewan is working on a vaccine, which is kind of nice. So
I hope a lot of people are.
Yeah, I know everyone is.
Find that.
Canada canceled hockey, and they immediately started working on a vaccine. And then the Irish closed the bars down, and they immediately started working on a vaccine.
I see that.
Wish we had NFL draft. That was something to get excited about. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a Browns fan, so.
One good outcome out of this coronavirus is that now the Corona beers are in super sale right now, and I love Corona beer, so I stocked up. I'm feeling really happy about it. That's the only good thing I can say about this.
Oh, I thought you said the Corona beards. Like no shave November.
Also a thing
but for
that
coronavirus.
people are doing the pandemic beards. Their quarantine beards going pretty good.
No, yeah, actually, actually read somewhere that they were recommending men to shave their beards because apparently it was easier to catch the virus if you.
Oh my gosh.
Than if you shave it off. But I'm
'Cause
like,
beards
yeah,
are-
I'll take the
It's not on
risk.
CDC.
Too many.
It's not on CDC, so
Yeah.
it's not on CDC. It's not real.
This
Yeah,
is so.
true.
This is Well, we're trying. We're trying our best. So, anyway, thank you for joining us. Thanks everyone for coming on and entertaining us in the background. I think I kicked off Pooh Nanners. It looked like he was falling asleep. No, he's relaxing in his gaming chair. Yeah.
I quit drinking right before the outbreak, and I love Corona.
This is
And
your
it's
fault.
like all I hear all day is Corona, Corona.
Bye, Corona.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you guys, stay safe. It's really, really important that we all, do the social distancing. Wow, I cannot talk. And there are a lot of options for you to, stay engaged with your friends, your family. Make sure you reach out to people. Check out that mental health website to see where you're at, as Nava said. And we'll check in on you guys, and we want to hear from you. Leo will keep us apprised with what's going on with the arcade world. And come check out some of our games. And hit us up to come play games with us. Seriously, like, it is so much fun. Like, whenever we're like, yeah, you know what, let's just go in and play it in a game together. Like Nick, right after the show. It's a blast. Like, just hit us up. There's, 10 of us can go in and play a game right now, So try your hand at gaming. And last but not least, want to say happy birthday to Bobby Carlton's wife. He would have been here, but he is such a good husband. He is celebrating with her, but he's in the chat. Yeah. So happy birthday, Bobby Carlton's wife.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Bobby's wife.
That's the most important message today. So anyway, thanks everybody. We'll leave out. We'll say goodbye, and I'll play some of our sponsors. Our trailers so that you guys can check them out. And if you have any questions, again, hit us up. Join our Discord, join our channel, and keep in touch with us. So, good night, everyone.
Bye.
DJ, I like the melody, but I gotta move my body. Oh, I gotta shake it on the floor. I got the movement and the attitude. I got something you could do. You could put my record on. You could play my favorite song, one where the bass goes boom, 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 boom. I got my own